Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're going to react to an amount of episodes of Revolutionary Girl Utena. Very excited to be here. So here's the gist. This week's a little bit weird, so I've just come off a very long week at work where not a lot of things went right, but we still got videos out, that was fine. As a result, this is like the first day off I've had off in like 7 days. Is today, which is Utena Day, which is nice, right? But also as a result, I'm kind of tired. So if we're going to finish episode 5, and I have like a ton to say, we may just can it there, just kind of round loop off this Sunlit Garden kind of arc, and then move into another episode next week. Should be fine. If I find that I get through 5 relatively quickly and there's not a lot to say, I don't know why there wouldn't be, but if I feel like I can do another, then I will. Let's put it that way. The other thing is that later in the week, I am holidaying. I have essentially a week off, let's call it. For the first portion of that, I will be out of town. So I will not record Frieren this week. Or I will later on. I still don't know what I'm doing. The weekend slot, that's still like, I don't know what I'm doing. I might try to figure that out this afternoon. But I should be back for more Utena the following week. Let's put it this way. If I do 2 today, it'll be 1 next week. If I do 1 today, it'll be 2 next week. Something like that, I think. But either way, the best way for me to watch more Utena is to get through these YouTube comments quick smart. If I can find my correct OBS scene. Yeah, that's the word. And we're starting our comments today with Dead Albino Sheep, or Oliver. Oliver's a bit nicer than Dead Albino Sheep, I think. I don't really get the people being rude to you about not getting it or whatever that means. Gently correcting a factual error is one thing, but Utena's up to interpretation, right? There's not a one single correct interpretation. The way I understand it is people are still trying to decipher it and whatever they think it means, whatever it means personally to them. Anyway, in regards to what is/isn't literal, I think it's best practice to assume that everything you see is literally happening to the characters and entirely metaphorical. So it does both, right? And I think I should stop trying to put labels and everything, just maybe in general, right? Trying to get a factual grasp of the show is maybe not Utena's goal in the same way it's been with largely logical shows that I've watched in the past, let's say Monogatari, right? There is parts of Monogatari where you feel, don't think, but a lot of it is cold, hard, you need a timeline, you need to figure out what this character is trying to get from certain situations, and writing shit down will be helpful in that regard. And Utena seems to be going for something different, where maybe that approach isn't as useful. Let's put it that way. Maybe that's just the drama school dropout talking, or in Victoria's case, the literature and sociology graduate. I don't know. I've got lots of drama school friends, I'll give you that one. Yeah, in this reply here, it's also worth noting that some of the corrections, in inverted commas, are misleading, sometimes outright wrong. The Choo-Choo up to debate as to what he is. Ikuhara was asked, he said he's a friend. Again, maybe I should stop trying to put labels on things and figuring out what Choo-Choo is. Maybe Choo-Choo's purpose is not so much attached to what animal he is. I think this will purvey as a theme through a lot of the comments. I think I'll come back to this, don't put labels on things. You're simultaneously not thinking enough and thinking too hard. Let's put it that way. Lazy Joe, next comment here. Nanami is the best. I can't help but agree. I don't think, yeah, again, media literacy is dead. I think a lot of people these days see a character that is bad. Nanami is a bad character. She is in the wrong. And boo, you're a bad person. Boo, we don't like you. I fucking love this kind of character. They're so fun on screen. Love a good bully. Love a good brat. So yeah, they're my jam for sure. And I think that these days you don't get such characters because we're so concerned with every character on screen being morally correct. Or if a character is not doing something morally correct, they need to literally turn to the screen and tell you, hey, this is immorally correct. Moving on to Miki. Miki is voiced by Hisakawa Aya, which sounds like a female name, which would be interesting. Not that it's never happened before. That is most certainly the case. And if we pop back over here, previously voiced another smart character with short blue hair. That would be a Sailor Mercury. Sure. Yeah, definitely contrasting the other boys in the student council. Younger, more innocent, seemingly from the first kind of episode of the Sunlit Garden thing, seems to not be outwardly aggressive towards Utena in basically any way. They're kind of just buddies. It's only after this, this passionate thing. What was the word? This vibrant, I think was the word used last week. This vibrant thing that he thinks he's found in Anshi again, that he's going to fight her, supposedly, based on the preview from, last week. The first part of episode 4, if you know what I mean. Either way, what made him choose to duel Utena? Will Anshi ever stop getting slapped? Find out next episode. I most certainly will. Either way, next up we have Victoria's comment here, which is about there's recap episodes apparently. Sure, this is bordering on spoilery. Maybe tell me the week of. Either way, so if I start to watch something and it's a recap episode, do not skip it. That's the thing I'm taking from these two comments. So I won't skip it. I haven't skipped them in the past. I believe I've watched something with a recap episode, maybe? Simper Gear, maybe. I think I'm lying there. I don't know. But I haven't skipped them in the past, so I don't think I will be doing that. So now we have the episode commentary stuff. I skimmed both of these, and I find them... This one more so, but this one still kind of spoilery. So I'm just going to skip them. Maybe we post them way after the fact. I don't know how this is going to work, because I just think that seeing a director talk about something as the episode is happening, he's obviously produced the series already, he knows what's going to happen. Even if he doesn't mean to, he can imply things. You know what I mean? You can read over there, or over there, and you can probably, like, you've seen the show, you can see what I mean, right? By spoilery, I'm not even going to look at it, but like this one here. I don't want that kind of stuff, even though it may seem minor. I don't know. So maybe keep them in the comments for the people that haven't seen them before, but maybe I just skip over them whenever I see them. I think that's probably the best tact. Again, I just want my personal take more than anything else, without, again, Ikuhara's influence. I want to figure out what he's trying to say without him just saying it. Anyway, no offense, and the comments are lovely. Thank you, Annie. That's great. Either way, moving swiftly onwards, we have a comment here from Isabella. Sorry people were being rude last episode. It is what it is. It's YouTube. It's the internet. People are going to do that kind of thing. It's fine. But moving on to something that we can agree that is fantastic is the Shadow Girls. They're fantastic. They're very MST3K almost. I just love the kind of commentary on the episode that's happening. It's like they're in the audience watching along with us. It talks to this theatrical quality to the show as well that I really enjoy. Again, at least some of its origins tying a little bit to Takarazuka Review and all that kind of stuff, right? At least a little bit, through Rose of Versailles. And clearly, Ikuhara's love for the stage, let's put it that way. Speaking more to this stage direction idea as well, the scene where Utena says that she wants to be a regular boy. Notice where the camera is placed. It is far away, almost watching them, like we're watching them on a stage, like she is almost perceiving an audience on her right now. Is she only then saying what the audience would expect of her in that moment, that she does want just a regular boy? Again, this is just Isabella's interpretation here, right? But I love this kind of stuff, backing it up with evidence, right, with a filmic technique. And I'm guessing some of the stuff you can pull apart a little bit more on a rewatch, right? Once you know what the show is entirely getting at, spying these things early on and pointing them out becomes a lot easier. And again, talking to this kind of feel, don't think idea, this putting labels on things, characters don't always speak the truth, not even to themselves, right? Sometimes they're just not on the right page, right? Not everyone's a reliable narrator in this show, put it that way. Pay attention to how it's filmed, elements in the background, stuff to help you figure it out. Make your own interpretations from it. That's why even to this day, people are still analyzing this show. And again, that's what makes these kind of videos, the videos where people watch this show and really try to look at it, entertaining for you guys. I'm imagining that's the gist here. Now, apologies in advance for butchering this name. Aisika, I'm going to go with, has this comment here. You're absolutely on the right track with roles and costumes and that kind of thing, and thinking about the different roles different characters encompass, well, specifically Utena, based on what they're perceiving themselves as in that process, right? How important clothing is to personal self-image as well, and what you outwardly exude. Some friends and I tried to do an Utena marathon drinking game once. You know, you need to drink every time somebody gets slapped, every time Choo-Choo eats something that he shouldn't, every time Nanami has bad luck with animals. Episode 4 in particular, we needed to switch over to the waters for a while. I can see why. Yeah, there's a lot of slapping in particular. Fucking, and she doesn't love getting slapped, but it does happen quite often. And apparently this episode in particular becomes 10 times funnier after finishing the series. I have no idea what that could mean, but sure. In a very similar way, we have two comments here from Chobo Ruby. The first one here just commenting on, I would have expected red hair from a sibling of Torga's, which makes sense, I think. And this more to what we were just talking about as well, with the kind of like, what a prince means to each character, what that role means to each character, and maybe we'll get a good idea of what Mickey sees in that through this episode upcoming, I think. We have some remaining two-part episodes. Are these? Sure. I'm sure people will let me know a little bit more when they're about to happen, and if I complain about them, but sure. And some of them are iffy, but whatever. They can be watched separately, no problem, but a main plot thread continues in the two episodes, so they probably are best watched together. And last comment here from Maximiliano Ramirez Romero, which is a very cool name, and I'm not going to say my name. My name's very uncool compared to this one. Either way, recommend you investigate fairy tales such as these. I feel like I'm pretty familiar with the first two, but not the specific grim ones in more detail, or maybe not the specific texts like they're originally based on, mostly just the interpretations for children. So I don't know. Also, The East Storm is based on Yukio Mishima's house, a gay fascist novelist who committed seppuku on his house. I have no idea what this means or how I'm supposed to interpret it. Sure. I'm sure Ikuhara's just being a weirdo. Let's just say that, I guess. Either way, let's get up that Google Doc and we'll have another read. Cool. So last week, what were the things we were talking about? Yeah, Mickey's sister. That radiant thing was the word I was looking for as well. Juri, interested in how she sees this. If she'll have more arc later on, sure. Nanami being a weirdo, and the Utena role stuff that I've already talked about ad nauseum. I think we're just going to jump in. Basically, the general setup is that Utena is in possession of the Rose Bride, and Mickey's going to want to, you know, have Anshi or whatever the hell. He's probably going to challenge her to a duel. There will be a duel that takes place. What will other characters do in reaction to this? Only time will tell. But yeah, it's based on this piano thing. Archie now represents this radiant thing which Mickey has lost. So there will be a conclusion here, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure that Utena's still going to be in possession of Anshi by the end of this, but only time will tell how that manifests in specifics. But I've rambled long enough. I'm going to do some shill stuff and that kind of thing. So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If I can get the right thing open. Here we go. If you like the video, like the video. Like it right now. Actually, the likes on this series have been really good, so keep doing that kind of thing. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I just hit 900, which is pretty cool. On our way to 1,000 for sure. What else do I normally say? Comment if you have something cool to say, just not too spoilery, that kind of thing. Twitter, follow me on Twitter. I will follow you back. And the Discord. Join Discord. Love Discord. Discord. There may be a poll. Either way, onwards and upwards with episode 5 of Revolutionary Girl Utena. Radio, I have episode 5 of Revolutionary Girl Utena up there ready to go as I readjust my seat. 23 minutes and 27 seconds on this one, so please sync up accordingly. I'm using the some stuff version stuff with the full subs. So get that copy if you want it. If not, there'll be a picture-in-picture version in the description below for your viewing pleasure. Just going to give this a 3, 2, 1 and jump right in. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. And I am recording, which is always great. Yeah, every single time, man. Like, it's very loud every single time. But also, I jump back into this opening. I feel like I'm home. Feels good. Take my revolution indeed. I know it's a low bar, but I definitely watched Skelter Heaven over the weekend. So just watching something that's good again is nice. It really is. A fun show to point and laugh at, though. Watch that video if you haven't already. I had a great time. I think it taught me a lot, too, about what not to do. Yeah, interesting thing here is that's fucking Nanami, bro. Why would she be fighting Utena ever? Maybe over Torga in a weird way? Incest moment? But sure. Okay. We're fencing. Okay, so Juri's doing the fencing thing as well. Yeah, they're both pretty good. Love the shadow. Right in the heart, huh? Or in the boob, depending on your perspective, I guess. Sure. Huh. Yeah, you're right. Interesting. I feel like that'll be very important by the end of the episode, that scene right there. So I think the first one was called Prelude and this one's called Finale. Okay. Flowers. Roses, to be specific. Okay, what is that? It's like a teapot? Or watering can? Yeah, watering can. Okay, alright. Makes sense. Music's beautiful. He's becoming enamored. This is gorgeous. The same garden you played the piano in, huh? Putting on the moves a bit. And choo choo on a skateboard. Why not? And somebody on my personal telephone. Some kind of romantic rendezvous. Even Choo Choo's suspicious. Who's in there with you? It's Utena. Okay, but coming right in and saying it. She didn't look overly jazzed to be playing it, though. But? Want to throw a butt in there? Okay, very interesting. This is very manga panel. Hmm. But? How did you ruin everything? Yeah. Like the bird in the cage, too. Emma's very similar to Archie, right? She's got a thing about crowds. Yeah, maybe not for you. Oh no, you got sick? Oh shit. Measles? But now you have to do that alone. I wasn't with you. Well, you can't blame yourself there. You were clearly just ill. You were sick. Hmm. Okay, I can see why you feel responsible. And then she stopped playing. Gotcha. Well, where's that sister? Hmm. I don't think that's what they mean by that, but sure. Well, that's great. Eh? Is it strictly about the music or something else? Let's just play to cover it up. Choo Choo's just vibing too. Okay. Honorable in a weird way. And now we're back with the student council. Tell me all about this eggshell. I love it. Yep. Prepare for trouble and make it double. I see. I guess that has been the impetus for the meetings in the past. Oh, why? Okay. Huh. He's still really cool. Naruhodo. Nah, sometimes youth is okay and can see through the bullshit of the system. Yeah. Huh. I got a lot to say about this. Got a lot to say. But I'm just gonna focus in on the episode for now and try not to blurt out all the ideas. But Mickey's cool. I like that guy. Yeah. Speak to me. Who the hell are you? Ada? Again, is that the sister? Blue hair? Blue hair? Huh? Yo! Yo! Oh, oh, this is great. Yeah. What does any of that mean? Yeah. Do you like being commanded? Or is it just something you do? Is it both? I don't know. Yeah, be careful on that seat too. I don't know who's been on it. Odd thing to say, but continue. So, yeah, it's kind of my deal. Yeah. And that scares you because that could potentially result in that same thing getting taken away. Yeah. So this is the motivation for why a duel must occur. Because even if say I believe Utena doesn't have bad motives here, somebody else could still battle her and win and steal her. Mickey? All the girls just swoon in this school. They love it. Okay, she's getting blindsided here. Oh! And everyone else must think something else, right? Love the music too. Alright, show me my shadow twins, please. With a pirate ship. I see. So we're getting like a thieving thing from this, right? Or what I covet. Oh, that's great. And now we'll get the walking up to the dueling scene. You know what I'm talking about. So I think this part is all about watching for differences, right? If any. As well as just feeling the moment a little bit too. Love a good organ. So far, I loved how they've built up Mickey's motivation and why he would think the way he would think. Especially that scene with Torga and his sister. Holy shit. Like, I don't know why I didn't think the sister would still be at the same school. Like, why I didn't think that. Apocalypto. How long is left, by the by? Oh, yeah, enough. Okay. Something will occur here. This is the same dialogue as before, I think. Blue rose, white rose. I agree. Yeah. We'll go back to the first scene of the episode for sure. Yeah, the touches to make Utena look more princely in this too. The reflection on the sword there's great too. Cool. Exceptional minds. Alright, we're not just reading the... We can do the lyrics later. Of course, he's got the fencing sword too. Yeah, he's like state champs or whatever, right? Well, the Sanji thing's a bit weird too. We're still not entirely sure there. Also not meant to be. Even the compliments as we're fighting. These lyrics, huh? Cool. Eh? And that's when he gets got? Interesting. And that shatters that radiant thing? Okay, he got. Thoughts? Just shock? Okay, thank you. Very different to the kiss off that she gave Sanji, of course, which was very, very professional. Hmm. Huh. Huh. That's very interesting. Interesting. So that was a little bit more of what she was worried about. Okay. And then Wakaba's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So it's weird. Almost Mickey's operating on like a false pretense or perspective, right? Or false is a strong word. Just different. That episode was fantastic, by the way. There's a ton to talk about. Even that last scene with his sister, that's still a ton. And kind of like I guess the this isn't over from Mickey as well. So what does it mean when he says that he heard this radiant timber from his sister, right? When, you know, she's still playing, but she's not playing as well. So clearly it isn't good playing. Is it the time with her sister or his sister that he enjoyed? Or was it something else? Like hearing his own playing in a weird way. Again, the problem's in me and not external. Also, there's been some talk about me watching previews. But I don't know. I don't want to see Nanami like fall over and stuff, so we may stop there. I don't know. I don't know. Just let me know to go back if the preview's super important. Either way, episode 5 analysis coming right up. So we're back. That was episode 5. It was fantastic, and I'm going to get into all the reasons why very, very soon. But first, I've just written 3 major questions. There is other minor questions that I will go through in the moments, I guess, as well. Starting here with, so what do we make of this radiant thing now, right? We as an audience now have perspective that Mickey does not, right? We have seen what the sister thought about this entire thing the entire time and how it was kind of not mutual. Let's put it that way, right? Cool, let's break this down. Mickey is a prodigy, right? He would know if his sister's not playing correctly, literally, right? In his head, he would know that. But in his heart, does he know that? Is he just enjoying time with music with his sibling? Maybe. Cool. That's fine. That can still qualify as a radiant thing. But it was something specifically about her playing, remember? So, was he actually hearing her play, or did he think he was hearing her play and hear his own playing and fall in love with it? And then that speaks to a lot of his, I guess, problem with this radiant thing being an internal problem. Being not the specific keys being touched in the specific moments, but a feeling that he feels that he is lost. A feeling that he feels like he has betrayed his sister almost, right? That she would be left up on stage without him and had to cry and be taken away and whatever else, right? Now seeing the sister's perspective, she was just mad that she got found out, that she wasn't as good. Everyone perceived her to be almost as good as Mickey, and she just wasn't. That's the reason why she didn't go on stage. It wasn't any element of stage fright or my darling brother not being there or whatever the hell. That's not what happened according to her. The other thing that's very, very interesting too is that a boy liked the sister because of the playing, right? And if that boy had ever found out that the playing, the majority of the playing, came from Mickey, what does that say? What does that say about love and gender and perception and all these kind of things, right? I just find this fascinating. I think if we just sat down the 2 characters in a room and they talked to each other, we could probably suss this whole thing out. But there seems to be like a genuine falling out between the 2 as well. That's not to mention the whole Torga scene, right? So, Torga, it is implied that he had sex, if not, you know, second base or whatever the hell, with Mickey's sister, right? This speaks to both parties, right? The sister's clearly interested in boys and likes him and stuff, so that's cool. But it also speaks to Torga's playboy attitude, which has been referenced before as well. But to what end? I don't think that Torga did this out of the blue. There was a motivation to this, to doing this specifically to Miki, right? He needed something stolen from him in a weird way, using those words, right? Sounds a bit weird. But that thing being stolen, this radiant thing from the past, clicks in Mickey's head that that radiant thing of the now can also be stolen. So Mickey's motivation through the middle of the episode is like, hey, we should stop bossing her around. It's an inalienable human right or whatever the hell. We should stop encroaching on her shit, basically, right? Let's cancel this whole student council thing. Let's just let Anchi live her own life. It'll be fine, right? And he knows Utena. He knows that Utena's a nice person and bad stuff probably isn't going to happen. But I think the thing that this teaches Miki is that even if you think it's okay right now, that doesn't mean it can't be stolen in the future. Anchi is completely subservient to whoever the Rose Duel master dude is, right? So, like, what's stopping another Saionji getting control there? And do I want that to happen to my Radiant thing the same way that Torga stole my Radiant thing just before as well? Which is a bit weird because sister, but you're picking up what I'm putting down. It's a motivator for Miki. And again, why did Torga do this? I'm thinking he wants the student council to keep going. And to have it keep going, we need Miki, and we need Miki to be on board with the general premise of the end of the world and the Rose Bride and everything else. So now he continues to be on board. In a weird way, we kind of revert to a status quo in a way, where the student council is just going to still be around, and we're going to break the shell or whatever the hell he says, right? And here's one for the future, I guess, the last point here. Let's talk about the look in Anchi's eyes, because Miki comments on it, right? During the duel, he's like, the look in her eyes makes it seem like she wants to be free. I've made that similar comment a number of times already. I see it too. I think deep down she does. What is binding her to this? Is it magical? Is it not? Is it a role thing? The same way that the roles are affecting other characters, such as Utena. Is it because of that? And the whole idea of ownership over somebody and the gender-specific nature of it and that kind of thing is interesting too, if you want to get your gender politics angle on as well. But I think I have rambled enough on this topic. This, again, will make up majority of our discussion, I think. But there's some fun, cool moments as well. I mean, Choo-Choo was on a skateboard. That's like pretty good content already. So I'll bring that episode up and we'll go through it again, I think. So we start the episode with Miki and Juri fighting. It turns out that Juri is also very good at fencing, almost nationally ranked or whatever the hell they say. We say Captain Juri as well, which is interesting. I wonder if that's going to continue to be a theme. You could almost link that into the pirate stuff that happens a bit later on as well. Captain Juri. Or maybe she's just captain of the fencing thing or whatever. I don't know. We're getting a lot of exposition from background characters, which is seemingly something that Utena as a show likes to do quite a bit, which I don't dislike. It's pretty good. But again, over the episode, right, we see a lot of girls swooning in general. There's just a presence to the general populace of the school that I really enjoy. We see here that Miki strikes Juri on the heart. It is her left side. Is that anything? Maybe. We need to learn more about Juri first, I think, as well. I'm leaning less that this thing's romantic and more platonic, I think. This episode didn't seem romantic to me. More shocked at the end that Miki could lose as well. Like, not thinking it possible. Again, he's beating me handily in fencing here, despite being younger. So, compliment to Miki. You're pretty good, right? But no, I've still got to step forward to perfection, right? Well, your strength lies in the imperfection, right? Your strength lies in the fact that you're always striving to be better. Think about the stopwatch as well, right? I'm again seeing it as like, this is my thinking time. Ticket when I've got an answer, right? When I'm about to speak, right? The power of his purity is the question here as well. Your sword always carries the force of your sincerity. Today it seemed stronger than ever. Is it due to the new study partner you have or whatever the hell? And then what are you talking about? Slight blush. She's hit the nail on the head. But I don't think your sword is meant for fighting. So that's not your gift. This is such an interesting opening scene. It really is. Your sword carries the force of sincerity, just in general. He is very forthright. He's very morally upstanding, let's say, and that is his strength, rather than direct sword on sword combat. Um, you're not, sword fighting isn't your thing. Conflict isn't your thing. This almost masculine thing of the conflict out of the sword fighting, it doesn't suit you the same way that your musical prowess does, right? What was the show where I talked about sword fighting and masculinity? Katanagatari? That sounds right. Yeah, because there's something to that, right? Or was it something else? I'm unsure. But I did talk about it, which I think is what we're kind of getting at here. This traditional macho ownership over girl sword fighting, I will fight you for woman, princely almost, right? Is not a mask that suits Mickey particularly well. Let's say that. And you get the feel that Juri is the one that knows Mickey best in this regard. It's only after being goaded into this very masculine sword fighting thing by Torga that he does engage in the dueling process. But he seems locked in by the end still. He's like, I will fight you again, Utena. Fascinating. Fascinating. After the titles, next we have this gorgeous scene. I love the soundtrack here. If somebody could link me that specific song, I would be very, very grateful. And we see that Anshi is tending to the roses in the sunlit garden in question, right? If you wanted to be a nerd, you could look at these flowers and say a bunch of stuff, right? So there is a character with yellow hair that we've seen, or blonde, I guess you could say. There's red over here, but pink is central. Pink is the most important, but I'm still flowering. I'm still watering all the flowers regardless, right? With this look on her face too. Like she's loving it. If I can grab it. Yeah. Look at that. Like she's loving the entire process here. Maybe I'm feeling very pseudo-intellectual today. I don't know why. And again, metaphorically, now we have Mickey aiding the watering of the flowers, right? Here is this watering can. Continue to water these roses, continue to make them grow. Like I am now, even unconsciously at this moment, giving something over to you that you will continue this rose duel system. Just this almost like delirious state that Mickey finds himself in after this, right? Ignoring that, like these spinny shots, and like he's losing himself in the radiant moment, thinking immediately back to again, the similar garden playing the piano with his sister. Like that shot appearing there with that kind of border too, and this kind of being destroyed upon the Torga interaction as well is something to watch. Yeah, it's almost dreamlike, almost even drug-like. This kind of trance that they're in before being interrupted by Utena here, or more specifically, Choo Choo on a skateboard, which is extremely 90s. I love the... Yeah, Choo Choo didn't really get time to shine this episode. He kind of just got that scene, but it's a good one to have. I liked that. Also, I've seen this smug Utena before. Origins of smug Utena, like Utena implying that she's interrupting some kind of romantic moment between the two. Still not seeing herself in general play, in general scenes as romantically attached to Anshi at all, right? Otherwise, should be very masculine and macho and what are you two doing in here? You stealing my girl, bruh? Like all that shit. Nah, just like, you two look like you're having fun. This is reinforced in this scene where basically she goes off and Archie like, why are you still doing this? I'm not in control of you. I don't have ownership over you. I'm not even your bride or whatever else, right? Very similar to the start of episode 3. Just like, you don't need to be doing this, I just think it's very, very interesting. Again, considering how hard Utena fights later on. If she really felt this way about the duels, giving her over to somebody like Mickey should be fine, right? Like it's because the whole thing with Sayonji's abusive and he sucks, so I need to protect Anchi for her own sake, right? I need to fight for her sake, With Mickey's a good guy. Why is she still fighting that hard when in these scenes she's so very anti the whole idea? But again, I think this is by design. I don't want to say this is a criticism at all. I think it's actually very interesting. We learn the origins of the piece here, the Sunlit Garden. My sister and I wrote it when we were little. If we take the ending scene of the episode as truth as well, Mickey basically wrote it because she was never very good at the piano. And it's a famous song, again, talking to his prodigy nature, I feel. This stuff here is great too. So we go from this shot here, which we've seen a number of times, over to, like, as we're in this room, even the light kind of following the same line here, as we're in the same room with the same piano, we're getting constant reminders, visual reminders on screen of this moment still existing, right? And I said in the moment, it's very manga panel, and I still agree. This kind of thing would pop off in a manga, I feel. It's very unconventional for an anime to depict things this way. It kind of reminds me a lot of, and follow me on this one, Beastars. Beastars does a lot of like whole frame split down the middle, one character's face here, one character's face here. And I thought it was a really effective technique there, just really different. I feel the same thing here. You could say it's kind of tacky, but I don't feel that way at all. Utena there also commented that, oh, the two of you must be prodigies, right? When, again, the revelation at the end of the episode is that Mickey was the only real prodigy there. And now we get the story here, right? How he ruined this moment and this radiant thing with his own two hands. Cool, so bird in cage is metaphor here. I don't really know what we're getting at. I'm going to be real. Like the beginning of the end, our radiant thing, our sunlight thing, our nature motif is now being trapped within a cage. This was the beginning of the end. Maybe. Maybe the sister feeling trapped in this role, feeling like her secret is about to be uncovered, and that she's been ensnared in such a way. Maybe. You could take it multiple ways. We do the silhouette thing here, which is also neat. We seem to be doing it a lot for flashbacks. Think about Utena's intro about her origins as well, still using a very similar thing. So I think the audience is meant to assume that she just has stage fright or something, and I thought in the moment that's very similar to Anshi, so I kind of clued into another connection there between the two. But it turns out that was all fake anyway. Love the colors here too, by the way. The green here, kind of the sickly green too, as we learn that Mickey has the measles. I guess I'll just get the story out of the way now. So this is Mickey's perspective. Let's go to a concert, because we're both clearly very good. I want to perform together. The sister shows some trepidation, of course, because she's not as good. However, if Mickey's there, then it should go okay. However, on the day of the concert, Mickey is in bed with the measles, and hey, let's go forth to the concert, sister. Again, I don't know if she has a name here. And then, of course, she doesn't get up on stage and runs away and whatever because she isn't as good. But we only learn that later. So Mickey's perspective here is his own inadequacy, right? He thinks that by getting sick, which again wasn't his own fault, he's let her down in a way and forced her to go up and face the stage that she showed some trepidation about by herself, which is bad. I feel like I failed her as a brother, as a partner in music. And again, the perspective is so interesting. Like, oh man, I'm responsible for everything here, right? When the Oni-chan that she's calling out is her own, like, ah shit, I'm about to get caught. No, fuck. But he thinks it's some grand failure. That's so funny. The deeper somber blue here now, obviously reflecting her mood, crying in the corner. After that day, she stopped playing the piano. Again, Mickey, in his own mind, thinks this is the inciting incident of the wedge being put between the two. And that radiant thing going away. Oh, cute. You have Anshi and Choo Choo just looking at the metronome there too. Great. So I thought I'd lost this radiant thing forever. However, Himamiya seems to still have it out. She can bring it out in her performance. Is this what they mean when they say love is blind? Not really. But yeah, Mickey exclaims that he's finally found his radiant thing. Utena says, is this a confession? Mickey blushes, and then just kind of plays by himself. You don't get a true answer here. And yeah, the whole time, Anshi kind of wasn't even paying attention. She was just kind of hypnotized by the metronome, or she was pretending not to pay attention, which is interesting as well. So Anshi, what do you think about younger guys? What do you think about guys like Mickey? I'm your bride, Master Utena. And this whole time, Mickey's listening. He didn't like that, right? Like, oh shit, I can't have her? Well shit, that sucks. Well, maybe the Master Utena part as well. And then a little bit more of an argument comes off here, right? I didn't ask you to be my bride. You don't have to call me that. All the things we've heard before. Not to mention that it's insane that you just do whatever somebody says because of a duel. I won't accept a system that deprives someone of their freedom. Clearly Mickey is listening here and brings it up at the next general meeting, which we jump swiftly into. Of course, we must break the shell to get the chick out and revolutionize the world, or whatever the hell, a whole metaphor we've done a number of times now. And it turns out Mickey was the one that called this meeting, so why have you called it? Generally, these three will meet upon getting a letter from End of the World, right? Then they'll discuss it and see what to do next. No such letter. Why is there a meeting? Mickey proposes an urgent motion, that being the dissolution of the student council, and questions the premise of the show and the student council and the end of the world in the process here. The notion of winning Himamir by a duel is insane. It encroaches on her inalienable human rights, or whatever the hell. What are we doing here? If I truly care about her, I'll set her free. I won't cage her like the bird in the cage that we saw before. I strongly believe that such a thing should not be accepted, no matter how great this power we're supposed to attain is, because of having the Rose Bride, the power to revolutionize the world, or whatever the hell. No matter how great it is, I don't think that we should be doing something so morally incorrect in the process of attaining it. And Juri talks some mad shit here. Love changes a person, so it was her test that you were correcting. Clearly you just like her, and that's why you want to set her free. Sometimes youth can blind you to your true desires, says Torga here as well, right? This kind of younger person in the student council, seeing the system that he has been presented with and questioning it. Like, why do we do this? It's morally incorrect that we do this. Why do we continue to do it? Love this from Mickey. Very, very cool. Maybe that's the revolution we actually need. So we must maintain the status quo in order to later attain the power to do a revolution? Doesn't make much sense. This sounds way more revolutionary in the process anyway. However, they both default back to break the world shell to revolutionize the world. Like, they're still defaulting back to the same old stuff, the same old philosophies. When Mickey's like, this whole system's stupid, why do we continue to do it? Oh, young people, they're so upstarty, they don't understand. Maybe he understands better than anybody. I don't know. Either way, the next portion of the episode is very interesting. Essentially, you have Torga trying to convince Mickey to continue with the student council and their current plan to continue to duel for the Rose Bride. How are we going to motivate him to do that? To show the process and, I guess, power of stealing something from someone else. The power of attaining something and then knowing that no one else can have it. So even for Anshi's own safety, I must attain her radiant thing, so I can keep it for myself. How would I feel about such a thing being stolen away again, being taken away from me again like it was in the past? Love this first shot here, that's why I've paused on it, right? So a little bit of light entering the hallway here before we full-blown show off the rest just gives an ominous vibe early that this is something that Mickey's not going to like. There's something hidden, right, that is not quite seen yet that will be uncovered. Mickey goes to open the door to the music room and we see a different character. A little bit more of a purpley tone to the hair, but definitely blue enough to know that they must be associated. I really wanted to say that this was the sister, but I didn't want to be wrong as well. Blue spinning rose in the corner there as well. Mickey almost doesn't address her at all, right? She gives him an ara as well, which I think speaks to a little bit more of her tone, right? Way more mature. And Mickey not wanting to associate with her, really, not wanting to think on old stuff in the past and his own perceived inadequacies, right? We notice here that she's putting back on her skirt and stuff, which will become more relevant later. Mickey dropped his sheet music, so are we giving it another try? I didn't expect anything from someone like you, as if you have the will to play. What are you even doing here? So you've betrayed me by not continuing with the piano stuff, right? One thing I did miss here, which is actually huge, is that the sister says, so are we going to give it another try? She is open to playing music with Mickey again. It's not like there's that much trepidation even on her side. However, it won't be the same. Mickey's the one that harbors all of the resentment here, almost. Weird. That changes a lot of things, actually. Please let me know if I'm right there. That sounds like it's huge. The problem is completely internal to Mickey. It really is. Why are you in the music room now? You clearly don't want to play again. You're clearly just teasing me. even though this was such a radiant thing that was so important to me back in my early childhood, right? Essentially, what are you doing here? Nothing special. I'm free to come here for I like. The music room isn't just for playing the piano. Narrows the eyes. She walks off just with her friends. Oh yeah, I'm fine, whatever. And then we spy Torga, the sexy beast. There he is. So again, now it makes a whole lot of sense why she was, I guess, running out of the music room very quickly, putting back on her skirt. We see my man Torga here with his shirt open. Again, hair slightly disheveled, that kind of thing. He's looking very sexy shoujo. They were fucking, right? Implied. Second base, you know what I mean? They're kids. You can't quite say that. But they were fucking, right? So you stole the old Radiant thing. And I've gone through this a number of times. This clicks in Mickey's head that, shit, that sucks. I don't want that to happen again to my new Radiant thing. So I must act now. So shock, and then kind of this, right? This kind of... Remember the musical sting we got last week, which was kind of like a slow upward thing in the notes? It sounded really lively and, you know, like his heart was skipping a beat. That's what I kept saying, right? Now we get a really discordant, like someone's just like almost slamming on piano keys. His heart is hurting. It is no longer skipping a beat, it is hurting because of this. That's what's gotten across completely musically and visually, without any dialogue accompaniment. Fantastic. Love this. That's just great filmmaking. Then, very suspect line here, your sister is as cute as you, question mark. But also this whole show is about being weird about gender stuff, so sure. So yeah, Mickey tries to brush it off, but then Archie shows up as well. Torga continues here, you have to seize and protect the things most precious to you with your own hands. You can't just leave it to fate. People are not above stealing, Mickey. Even if the student council is disbanded, the Rose Bride will still be pursued. And if you refuse to pursue her in like, then you're just going to lose. You're going to get the same thing stolen from you again. Again, these are just the rules. The only one who can command the Rose Bride is the one who is engaged to her. Archie's looking very cute there too, I like that. And getting stuck upon this line, right? Commanding her. Commanding her. Clearly the scene we've just seen play out is, I guess, running through Mickey's head and ask some interesting questions of Archie here, right? Like, when did you start playing? Oh, you must have been so cute as a child? Question mark. My sister's playing was so good too. I absolutely refuse to lose this playing this time. Do you like music? Yes. Would you play for me again? Only if Master Utena permits it. Must you get her permission for everything? Yes, since I am the Rose Bride. So if she told you to quit the piano, would you? Of course. Stopping playing the piano in the moment too. Like this radiant moment, this perfect sound that he's hearing is stopping in the process too. Of course I would. No hesitation, no shadow of a doubt. Right? I must obey the wishes of my betrothed. Getting reminded of sexy Torga as well, the only one who may command the Rose Bride is the one who is engaged to her. The quick flash of his sister and Torga again, sexy on the bed. The Rose Bride will still be pursued regardless. Don't worry, I will protect your playing. And then Domo Domo. Very cute. And yeah, Utena isn't cognizant of any of this, right? Mickey's almost our POV character this episode. Like, gets absolutely sideswiped here when Mickey storms in and basically challenges her to a duel. I do love the swooning girls in the background, as I've said a number of times, though. Again, Wakaba's probably like, what the fuck's going on? But we don't really get that perspective, which is fun too. I like how Utena opens with, oh, if you're looking for Anshu, she's probably in the greenhouse or whatever, right? But no, my business is with you. I basically challenge you to duel. Yeah, look at that. This may look sweet to the people in the background, but we know what's going on here. And then from here, we do a lot of our repeated stuff, basically through to almost like here. Like, a lot of this is repeated in dialogue we've heard before and stuff. Doesn't mean I won't rewatch it and talk about it. And of course we have the Shadow Twins as well, which is always a highlight. This time, between the two, we have a pirate motif. Very similar to the cowboy motif they had before as well. That classic question for every male. Would you be a pirate, a cowboy, or a samurai? Please comment below what you would be. The pirate thing is clearly about coveting something, right? About greed, about jealousy, about treasure, about a radiant thing perhaps, whether that be gold or something else. Stealing, right? I am forced into piracy because there are other pirates around. And if I want to keep my stuff, then I've got to be just as bad as they are. I guess I can also talk about this as well, which is an idea I've been, I guess, workshopping in my head. It's Mickey caught between two things, one being music and one being fencing, right? One being artful and passive and, you know, like him, like him as a character. And this other one being very combative, very masculine almost, right? I think being drawn to one upon having something stolen from him. Yeah, that's fascinating, even though I can't quite come up with a concrete point on it. Yeah, talking to the captain in question here sounding almost like Mickey in the voice acting. What is it that you covet? And then we spring a leak, which is funny and stuff. The voice acting here is great as they go underwater and go blah, 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 blah. Like they're kind of trying to speak underwater. Just fantastic. And now it's this. We get that same old song again as we make our way up. Absolute Destiny Apocalypse, here it is. I mean, this sequence continues to be fantastic. I'll say it every week with this show. If you're gonna have something you repeat, it better be damn good. That's why people spend a lot of time on openings and that kind of thing. Similar philosophy here. Of course, Archie adding the little extras to Utena's Prince uniform as well. Magical girl adjacent for sure. Get a pink rose here, but of course associating a lot of her princely stuff generally with a white rose. As we see here, he gets his blue rose. You get your white rose. The dialogue here is repeated from the start of episode 4. Sitting at your piano suits you better, Mickey, as opposed to fighting, as opposed to trying to steal someone or whatever the hell, or trying to steal someone to prevent someone else from stealing someone. Jury, of course, agreeing that he's better next to his piano. And then, yeah, it just came back to this first scene as well. Your sword always carries the force of your sincerity. And today, your sword and your sincerity seem stronger than ever. Could it be owed to the girl whose test you were correcting? However, that sword is not meant for fighting, which is what he's doing at the end of the episode. That sword, that passion, your thing, is not this. It's the piano. That's the thing you have the most prodigious talent as a piano player. And even this radiant thing, as we talk about, could have just been you playing the entire time. And maybe you need an outside person to observe that and see that. However, Mickey still continues to confirm that he is fighting, and he doesn't care if he hurts Utena. He's going to steal the Rose Bride. Now you have some lyrics here. Theatre, exceptional minds, collective phenomenon. Again, they're going to be pretty abstract here, just talking to more general ideas. Of course, Mickey is a prodigy. He is exceptional. He is a young genius. Imagined reality, an operating table, a wrecked ship, a genuine play, the Spira Mirabilis. Okay, there's a lot of concepts here. The ship could, of course, talk to our pirate thing we have going on, with it representing stealing, and a wrecked ship being the result of this, right? Like almost like this omen to not pursue this path. Then they have the theatre angle, a genuine play. So, is this real? Or is this fake? We're putting it on for an audience, that being us, but as well as jury who's watching over on the sidelines, with her like theatre spectacles too. Whirlpools, spirals, forever changing, a spira mirabilis, like almost hypnotic, like the trance thing I was talking about before as well. Forever changing, whirlpool, pirate stuff. The Dream of Scipio. Alright, time to Google. I don't know if you can read that particularly well. This seems like something way out of my league, if I'm gonna be honest with you. This is insane. Yeah, if anybody can speak to this in any more detail than I can read right now, please do. This seems fascinating, but I can't really have a full grasp of this historical text right now. Illusory minds, perpetual motion, theater, illusory people. This whole time even like complimenting Utena as well, like your sword skills are very good, I can see how you beat Saionji and all this kind of thing, but I'll be the one to have the bride's playing specifically, to have her piano playing ability. Perpetual structure, Ammonite shell, alchemy, Scarab, the Spira Mirabilis, ever dying just to live again, the Spira Mirabilis, and the spiral of the staircase too that we're ascending up, the spiral of the whirlpool, am I getting sucked in to the system again when I was so close to getting out of it? She wants to be set free, but in the process, I'm unwillingly being imprisoned by this system of the Rose Bride duels. through this process? Is this anything? And then, of course, we've been talking about spirals, shells, and then we just repeat snail like a bunch, exclaiming that he's going to protect her legendary timber or whatever the hell. Never-ending theater, Utena zooming in, multiple strikes there. One the right side up, one the upside down, on the geometric stage of the mystery of life and death. This is the kicker, though. Anshi is the one that cheers for Utena in the end. Get him! She looks so happy about it too. Exeunt all death, rebirth, death, rebirth, death, rebirth, death, rebirth, death, rebirth. And upon Utena striking that rose back here, we get that kind of memory stricken as well, right? The bells ring, we signify the end of the fight. The rose is in tatters. Juri is shocked that he was able to lose here, and Utena just says, I hope you're satisfied now, and then walks off. So I brought this up a little bit early in the episode, but I wanted to reinforce it here. The change that Utena undergoes upon reaching the dueling stage. And maybe we don't see it this time, but maybe a very similar thing happened to the fight before with Seonji, right? Where the prince descended from the castle above and kind of, you know, did something, whatever that something may be. Like, early in the episode, I don't care about this, please stop doing this for me, Anshi. Mickey's a good guy. However, when she gets up to the duel, something else takes over. Even if not literally, even if not metaphorically. But she believes that she needs to protect Anshi in that moment. And that's fascinating. I don't know what to make of it, but even if there wasn't a literal prince descending, that doesn't mean the same thing isn't happening metaphorically. And here's the contrast, right? So now Mickey's devastated. Why can't I find my radiant thing or whatever the hell? Anshi comes and walks over and still like gives condolences, right? Teach me again next time. Beautiful smile on her face. Just contrast it with like the kiss off that she gives to Seonji as well. So now we cut back in and we hear some pretty bad piano playing, especially in comparison to the amount of times we've heard this piece played quite well. And it turns out that it's Mickey's sister, right? The friend character here is questioning, did you really used to play? Even I can play better than that. Well, I never had the talent, not even the interest. So, then why did you play back in the day? When I was really young, a boy who lived next door used to write me love letters. They'd always say something like, I love your playing. So he was attracted again to, well, the side of her, right? The looks. But also the playing's fantastic. That was mainly what she got complimented on. I think he had the wrong idea that I was good at playing piano. The same wrong idea that Mickey has through these two episodes as well. Since I often played with my brother, people often mistakenly thought that I was as good as him. Since he's a genius, he could make up for my playing no matter how bad it was. But one time when we had a concert coming up, he got sick, everything fell apart. This almost very self-serving using of her brother, right? Everyone then found out I couldn't do it by myself. Well, your brother's really cool, huh? And then just I guess he's pretty cool. Mickey, supposedly the next day, interrupts Utena and Wakaba here. I let my guard down yesterday, but I won't lose next time. But again, contrast with Seonji in a very positive way. He's not saying like, I can't believe this girl beat me, blah, 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 blah. He's like, no, I still want what I want. I still want to fight you for it. We will meet again. And yeah, that closes loop on our story there. This very like ending music playing there too. To be continued, into that banger ED. And what do I make of all of that? I think I've talked enough about it, if I'm honest. I'm nearing an hour talking about not an hour's worth of content, if I'm honest. It's fascinating. This episode's great. It's really, really great. I don't think I'm going to do another one, guys. I'm sorry. I'll do two next week, I swear. I like kind of keeping this pace of kind of like one, then two, one, then two, one, then two. And obviously avoiding it if I have to. But yeah, I think I'll do the one. But yeah, fascinating episode. For Mickey, for Anshi, for the sister, for Torga, for everybody. Everybody everywhere. That's crazy. This is the best episode by far, I think. And I thought the first episode was fantastic. So, sure, let's go. And yeah, it seems like next episode is like a Nanami thing. So looking forward to that too, because she's like one of my big favorites, of course. So yeah, I'll do that next week plus another one. I don't think that's interrupting any of our two-parter episode stuff. Not looking at that comment. No, it's not. So should be good. All right. Cool. I'm going to sign off and stuff, but not without my show stuff. So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord. Join Discord. Love Discord. Discord. And yeah, I'll be back next week for 2 episodes of Revolutionary Girl Utena. Hope you had a great time here today. Thought it came out pretty well, if I'm honest. So keen to see your insights and that kind of thing. And guess I'll catch you later. See you next week and that. Goodbye.